Today we're going with a group of vintage Jeeps on the Logandale Nevada trail system. We decided to go on this trip the day before we went down to Hurricane, Utah for the winter 4x4 Jamboree to check out some of the trails down there that we'd seen before. This is our lineup of flat fenders. First off, we have Jeff Petrowich's 1943 Willys MB Bam Bam. Next up, we have Jesse Coombs' 42 Willys MB Brutus. This is Ernie Ongaro's 48 Willys CJ2A two-step. Next, we got Alan Koller and his 1951 CJ3A thumper. And this is my Jeep. I'm Stan Fuller. I call my 48 CJ2A Grandpa's Jeep. We came on this trail kind of to finish up some unfinished business that we had when we came here before in November during the Hump and Bump event put on by the Vegas Valley four-wheelers. We wanted to come and try some of the obstacles that we had struggled on or missed or didn't get to do. So we called up Kevin Baily, who's the president of the Vegas Valley four-wheelers, and asked him if he might come and show us around a little bit more on a more personal kind of tour of some of the trails and obstacles of the Logandale trail system. So that's Kevin in front of us in that yellow Jeep. He's kind of our tour guide for this as we're heading out. And we're concentrating for the most part on the Bronco Falls trail. Kevin's leading us right now to the Bronco Falls gatekeeper obstacle. Jeff, Jesse, and I have all been on this obstacle before. Alan and Ernie, this is their first time. So we'll just show Kevin going up the obstacle, kind of to show you how a bigger, more modern Jeep would take this obstacle. When you get to the top, you have to make a hard left turn. It looks like you ought to be able to go out straight, but when you get to the top of that little wash straight ahead, it's a big drop off, kind of a cliff. So you have to turn left and go down that other little alley. This is Jeff in Bam Bam, giving you a driver's eye view. So this is the little alley and outlet that we all had to turn left to get out from the top of this obstacle. Next up we have Alan and Thumper. Alan usually runs the traditional non-directional tread tires like most of us have on our Jeeps. But for this trip, he put these, they're actually ATV UTV tire, a little larger and wider and softer than our regular tire.
He's gonna fall now. Oh yes, 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 yes. Woohoo! Whooped him again, didn't we, Josie?
Next up we have Ernie, and with Ernie you can see how on this obstacle there's very little margin for error for our little Jeeps. We got just a little bit to the left, dropped in a hole, flopped on his side. All the safety equipment worked, the roll bar, the seat belts. Alan backed up into that other little alley and we ran the winch line down. He was fine. His Jeep got a little banged. The windshield got kind of bent and the roll bar actually got a little bit bent too. Once Alan got two-step here back on his tires, we were still kind of concerned about having Ernie try to drive out of it, so we put Kevin over at the front with his winch. He's able to winch two-step onto a little more flat ground. At the same time, Alan's winch line is still on the roll bar, making sure he doesn't fall down that slope. We made sure there was no hydro lock or anything, that Ernie was able to get two steps started right back up here. Still needed to get him back to the left where the outlet is, so Alan's winch line on the roll bar to keep him from rolling down this hill. Ernie was able to back across the face here, get to safety.
Back. Start to turn driver, you go back. Alan, out a little more. Yeah, there is that hole right there. Okay. Straight back, right there. That line like you've got going back. Alan, out a little bit.
Now it's Jesse and Brutus's turn. I think too far left, but I don't know. I hit. Finally, it's my turn. Last time I was on this obstacle, I actually had to be winched off because I got dropped down into a hole. And I missed it again this time on the first try. Fortunately, I was able to back off of it and try it again. In the meantime, while we're climbing up the obstacle, Kevin is over here getting a little bit tippy, trying to get out of his winch position. But he made it, and off we go on to the next obstacle. While we're heading over to the next obstacle, I just want to put a plug in for the Vegas Valley four-wheelers trail event they put on every year called the Hump and Bump. This year it was in the first part of November. Really a great event. You go to the Logandale area trails. They have quite a few different trails you can sign up for, all different levels that you can participate in. You can also camp at the fairgrounds, Clark County Fairgrounds, and they have evening activities, food trucks, different things there. It's a great event. Kevin's the president of the club. He also kind of chairs the Hump and Bump planning committee or whatever they call it. The terrain here at Logandale kind of reminds me a lot of the Sand Hollow, except for it seems, I don't know anything about geology, but it seems to me, just from an observation point of view, that the geological age of this area might be younger because the rocks are rougher, not as smooth as the ones in Sand Hollow, and not nearly as smooth as the ones in Moab. This spot here has this little wall or step that you climb up, then it drops over and down to another tricky drop. And this spot is optional. When we did this trail with the at the Hump and Bump with the Vegas Valley crew, the trail leader went around this obstacle. He said the fun part of it is not fun enough to overcome the annoying part of it. So I kind of have to agree with him after the struggles that I had on here. So I'll show you in a minute.
Just a little bit. Just so you can pop up over that. Go, go.
We didn't get video of everyone going up this step part, so once Ernie gets up it, we'll switch around and show you the drop on the other. This is actually down a little bit from that step. The problem with this spot is that the drop is at an angle and your driver's side tire comes down before your passenger, which can be tricky if you don't get it as square as you can. Jeff didn't have any issue at all with it.
Barbecue sauce. Right, and we spent some time getting it winched where we could try it again. Learn that this we can come down this way pretty easy if you just roll on, keep on coming down.
Yeah, because you're
Narrow.
Yeah, he was right, wedged in between.
You might notice that that's me kind of spotting all these first Jeeps down it.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Straight. Straight towards me. Yep. Straight. Yeah, you're pushing that big rock out the wrong way.
I think you burped the tire there, maybe. But, that tire's awful low. But... Woo! Whooped them again, didn't we, Josie?
Then I went and got my Jeep and I struggled with it. I got them down fine, but I couldn't get myself down fine.
More down the center of it.
Take a lot of heat for that hand coming out and grabbing the rock, but I had stopped my Jeep before it even went over, and I basically didn't want to hit my head on the rock as it went on its side. Several guys come over and they quickly pushed me back up on my tires. And I think looking at this video that I probably could have driven out of that if I wouldn't have stopped. If I would have just kept on driving, I probably would have been just fine.
No winching. Woo!
So you have to reset because you're on top of it.
Well, he might be able to climb that.
Come on, you want to try that? If they can have to climb over, let's go. You're going to have to come up over it.
You ain't gonna want your passenger tire on that though.
Don't use the wheel, reset. That's it. Just
All right,
pushing
yeah,
you
there
over.
you go.
Oh, that was too much. Just a little bit, little too easy.
All right, there you go.
In a little, right there. Okay, now.
Just be ready to move when you
Just
come. When you
move through it. Don't delay. Just move through it. You're on the line.
If anything, go passenger.
That one's for passenger at that point.
Barbecue sauce.
Yeah, Alan.
He's not that little of a driver.
Right there.
This last Jeep was another friend of ours, Joe Thompson. He's part of the Vegas Valley Four Wheelers Club, and he has his little 46 Willys flat fender. He showed up a little bit later, so he just joined us right here at this obstacle. And then actually he has some distributor and carburetor trouble, I think, and he ended up bailing out early. So this is about the only shot you'll see of Joe. Joe doesn't have lockers in the front axle of this Jeep, so you can see the tires spinning.
Hold on.
It's lifted up.
I wish we had a rope up there now. We may have to push him off of that. Yeah, if he can get the tire up, but he doesn't have
Situations like this, a locked axle makes a big difference in being able to crawl one tire when the other tire's in the air.
We need to get a rope over here and pull him down this way. Don't you agree? Well, unless you can hold him. If you can hold him. Told you could do it.
Coming down this spot is a little bit trickier than it looks sometimes. That little ridge that his passenger tire is on right now, if you hit it a little bit too far to the right, our smaller tires don't crawl up on it and you can get bound up right in there. None of us really have a problem with it this time, but the last time I came down this slope I did get jammed up in there and I had to try and back up that little hill to get off of that.
Now you can turn this way.
They went that way.
Want to get back in?
No, I'll just stop. Yeah, you see that hole right there? Looking good. Straighten out.
This obstacle here that Jeff is following Kevin up is kind of a fun and a little bit tricky one. I call it the Z turn. I'm not sure if that's its official name or whatever, but it's a Z turn on the Bronco Falls Trail. Go up a pretty steep climb right here, and then you make a steep right turn, and then a really sharp left turn, and then down a tricky drop on the other side. Here we're kind of jumping back down and following Jeff up.
Good thing I latched all that stuff together. Okay, passenger. There you go.
There you go.
You got it. So I didn't see him go, and I was like, places. This way a little. Come forward. Okay, now passenger. Passenger more. All right, now straighten out. You got it. Boy, I don't know, what do you do here? So you want your tire in that notch, so you want it to passenger more. Okay, back up and reset. Oh no, I guess you're doing good. Perfect. Woo.
Easy like Sunday morning.
Oh, there goes your tire again.
Keep going. Roll through it.
Here's how that tricky drop looks from the bottom.
You'll be all right. Just come on down. Just don't dally.
When I hit that little ledge at the bottom with my passenger front tire, you can hear the air burp out of it. We run these NDT tires tubeless. They do say they're tube type tires, but we run on the trail so much that
Really bad.
fixing a flat tire with a tube in it is lots more complicated than a flat tire with no tube. The one thing that does happen sometimes is you burp air out of these wheels that don't have really good safety bumps on them to hold those beads on when you're running at low air pressure.
There you go.
Now keep it like that and come on down. Barbecue sauce.
Oh. Passenger, you know what? Back up a little, because you're going to drop in this hole. All right, you're good. Now, passenger. Passenger. All right, you're good. Looking good.
Spot?
Yeah.
Totally forget what happened here.
There's not any drops in front of you. Looking good. You can go.
This little wash is the entrance up to the main Bronco Falls obstacle, the one that this trail is named for, and really the main reason that we came back to Logandale was to try our Jeeps out against this obstacle. Okay, Kevin, our leader, is the first one up the obstacle. It has this little step at the bottom it's not a gimme. Then you drive up this V-notch, and then at the top there's two choices. Kind of the traditional route that people take is to the left. You'll see Kevin, he's turning to the left here. Then to the right is a line that is more like a buggy line. And here's how Kevin looks coming up the V-notch and then taking the left-hand fork. You get a tiny glimpse of the buggy line there to the right. One or two of our group at the Hump and Bump made it up this, and the rest of us bypassed it. So we wanted to come back and give it a try. So we asked Kevin to bring us over here so we could try the buggy line on this Bronco Falls obstacle. First up is going to be Jeff and Bam Bam. One of that.
got 6
6
inches.
6 inches. 6 or 8 inches, not that much.
Whoa.
There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Might be okay. More easy once you grab it. Okay, it's your right slider. Let me look. I think it's your right slider. The body section. I think you're hanging up the left. I'll go back until you're on that lip, and then I try bumping it again. I can't see that side.
You're good. You're good. Come on back.
Follow,
You're good. You want to come off that ledge?
no.
A little more. Right there.
Pop hard, stay dry. Yeah.
Next up, we've got Ernie. Ernie struggled a little bit with that first big step. Eventually, kind of went around to the side and went around it. I think after his struggles, I cut quite a bit out of that. He decided that he would just take the more conventional line to the left.
Straight up the straddle.
Now we got Jesse and Brutus. Jesse's actually one of our guys that had climbed this obstacle the last time we were here. after a few times trying it, Jesse decided to back clear off and completely reset. Now Alan and Thumper.
Yeah, just easy down, no big deal. Your rear's gonna come down and it'll be fine. Okay, you're almost to the rear now. Okay, here comes your rear. Yeah, perfect. Okay, now total reset. Come all the way off.
Much like
Okay,
Jesse,
yeah, go ahead.
Alan decided to back off and completely reset to give it another try. Grandpa's Jeep and I are the final victims in this hill climbing attempt.
What's up with that? Okay, you ready? I'm not ready.
Here's just another look at how that looks from the other side.
That's really good. That's really good. That's really good. Okay, back up, and that's it, right there, right there. Punch it up, and once it starts to... Oh, he was a little bit of a lag there. Go back and try to get on the wall. You're watching him back. You're watching his back, right?
Come back about
Right there's a... You gotta go. You gotta get that over there.
Does he hang up on you?
Yeah, big time. Okay, don't, yeah, go driver. And run up hard as you can, driver, and when you start to climb. Now pass it. Oh, there you go. That was actually one of the better runs.
He made that look a lot easier.
The Bronco Falls obstacle is kind of the end of the Bronco Falls trail. We decided to do a little more messing around there in Logandale. This little climb is, I think, in the Cheddar Bowl area.
That was pretty. That was really very good driving. I mean, that looked better.
Got out of it there, I would have gone over.
You did less bumping than jumping around than anybody did, though. I like that, what he did there.
Which way are you going?
Just driving up it. Just drive up it.
Here's how just driving up it looks from the top. As our last challenge of the day, we decided to go over to the gatekeeper obstacle to the rock bottom trails. We didn't do the whole trails, just this gatekeeper obstacle, which is kind of a tricky one. It's a series of climbs and turns and ledges, and can be challenging for our little short wheelbases and narrow Jeeps.
There's the Logandale Rodeo.
Time today, son.
Today, Junior.
That's right. You got to learn to drive with the fear.
I like that line of not getting on the wall.
Yeah,
Second half.
You see your line where your tire came up on that?
Perfect. That was the best part of my run right there.
ready.
Second place right now. The timing is you're way off. You're already past first time.
Boom! Did you hear that? That's the word on the street. I didn't end slowest time.
Slow without stopping.
Slow without stopping.
Doesn't it stop?
I never took my foot off the pedal.
We're gonna blindfold you guys next time. Third place. Look, keep looking. Keep on it. Keep on it. Get a bulldog.
Oh, that's nice.
As I finish up my run through this gatekeeper obstacle in Grandpa's Jeep, I'd just like to thank all the guys that contributed videos, clips for this video, which included all the guys that were on this trip with us: Jeff, Ernie, Jesse, Alan, Ernie's brother Paul, and Kevin Baily. I'd especially like to thank Kevin of the Vegas Valley four-wheelers for leading us around Logandale on this trip. We had a wonderful time with Kevin, and I want to thank you all for watching.